listening to the Sportz Hive podcast.
Oh, Wade, what a play! Oh, wow.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Sportz Hive podcast, where we provide you with all the buzz in the sports world. I am Jacob Hyde, and alongside of me is Luke Hoffman, and today is Wednesday, February 5th, 2020, and we have a great show ahead of us for you guys, and we're going to be touching again on the NBA. The trade deadline is Thursday, February 6th, so we're going to be talking about some potential trades and what teams should make some trades for the rest of the year. And we're also going to be talking about the John Morant, Iggy, and Dylan Brooks situation on social media. It was a hectic scene yesterday on Twitter, so we're going to be also digging into that a little bit. And to end the show, we have an NFL topic you guys for sure do not want to miss. So tune in, and so without further ado, let's get started. So to open up the show today, we're going to be digging into the NBA trade deadline, which is the deadline is Thursday, February 6th. So, Luke, what teams do you think should trade by Thursday? And based off of those teams, who do you think they should go after?
Yeah, I have three teams here that are technically contenders and each have a glaring need in their team. I'm going to start with the Celtics. Right now, I would say their biggest need is size. Right now, they're starting Enes Kanter at center. He's a very good offensive center, but he definitely has deficiencies defensively. And if the Celtics want to somehow make a run against Giannis and the Bucks, they need someone to guard Giannis and his size. And so I have two trades the Celtics may want to make, and the first one is with the Houston Rockets, and that would be acquiring Clint Capella and Austin Rivers from Marcus Smart and Enes Kanter. They would need to trade Smart for salary reasons. So to replace him, I have them getting Austin Rivers, but Clint Capella is a much better defensive center than Enes Kanter, and I think it would make a lot of sense for them. Another trade that I have Boston making is Hassan Whiteside for Gordon Hayward straight up. Both of these guys are pretty poorly overpaid. Gordon obviously had the injury, which is why he hasn't been able to make up for the money he's making. And Hassan Whiteside's actually having a decent bounce back season this year, and I think he could be a solid pickup for them. And also Hassan Whiteside is on a contract year and Gordon Hayward still has some years left on his deal, so it would be able to free up some space for them in the summer this summer. Another team that has a glaring need for a big man is the Los Angeles Clippers, and I actually have two trades for them. One of them is with another team that I think is a team with a glaring need, and I think this trade could help both of these teams. The first one, though, is the Clippers trading with the Detroit Pistons in a blockbuster trade. I would have the Clippers getting Andre Drummond and Derrick Rose for Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell, Mo Harkless, and a 2020 and 2022 second-round picks. Obviously, Andre Drummond is a monster of a rebounder and a decent defender, and then they would need to trade Patrick Beverley for salary reasons, but they can then get Derrick Rose in return to make up for that loss at point guard. I think that would be a huge move for them. And the other trade that I have the Clippers making is with the Philadelphia 76ers, who is my other team. The Sixers really badly need shooting right now, and they just have a bunch of tall guys who can defend. I would say a trade that I have Philadelphia making with the Clippers is Patrick Beverley and Mo Harkless for Al Horford. They also need a true point guard in Philly, which is where Patrick Beverley comes in. And Mo Harkless is a pretty solid shooter and defender, and I think they don't really need Al Horford. He is just another center where they already have Joel Embiid. It's just not a good dynamic, and I think that could be a trade that would definitely benefit both teams.
Yeah, those are obviously some really big trades that you obviously talked about with like the Clippers. I would honestly love to see that. Andre Drummond is a huge big man. And offensively, that he would definitely be a key with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard getting it inside. to Andre Drummond, and then he obviously can clean up, like you said, he can clean up the glass on the defensive end and swallow up shots as well. So I think plus Derrick Rose um, replacing Patrick Beverley at point guard, and obviously Lou Williams coming off the bench for that Clippers team would be a huge trade. And the first trade you were talking about with the Celtics with Clint Capella, I know the Rockets. I don't know why, but they are trying to um, deal away Clint Capella, and obviously with the Celtics they have the young core of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and now they have Kemba at point guard. So I think they would definitely make a run for the Eastern Conference Finals and the Finals if they had the addition of Clint Capella. So one last question for you about the trade deadline. I know that you're a Bucks fan, so I know we have less than 10 wins. They have less than 10 losses in the year. But do you think for any reason the Bucks should go after somebody by Thursday?
I think the Bucks will stay put. I think obviously there's been rumors that they're thinking about moving Sterling Brown. Sterling Brown is a restricted free agent after the season. So there would be reason to move him if you can get something of value, even a second round pick, maybe in a roster spot to pick up somebody who might get waived. But I don't see anything else happening. I think they're very happy with their core.
Yeah, they're obviously dominating the league with who they have, and especially with their bench players, they're pretty deep. So I agree with you. I don't think the Bucks need anything, and if they did go after somebody, I wouldn't mind it. But like you said, I don't think they need to with the people they have as of right now. So if you have nothing else to add about the NBA trade deadline that's happening this coming Thursday, February 6th, we are going to move along with the show, and we're going to stick with the NBA. And yesterday we saw, obviously, we know that Andre Igoudala got traded to the Grizzlies, and he hasn't played a game since he has been traded there. And the players have been opening up about how they feel about him on the team, and how he's saying he's not going to play unless he gets dealt to another team. Dylan Brooks started the whole thing on Twitter. He said, in quote, I can't wait till we find a way to trade him so we can play against him and show him really what Memphis is about, quote. And then Ja Morant, the rookie point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies, who's having an outstanding year, he then quoted that tweet from one of the reporters, and he was basically agreeing with him. He sent the little talking emoji. I don't know how to interpret it. It's probably like listen or like say it louder for everybody in the back kind of thing, or like talk your talk kind of emoji, I would say it is. And so he posted that to Twitter, and then Steph Curry obviously saw that, and he took no time, and he posted a picture of Iggy holding the NBA championship trophy. And so I honestly like John Morant defending what his teammate had to say. Even though he's a rookie, I still think that's pretty amazing. Like he should be able to talk with the year he's having. And but like I know a lot of people will say, oh, he shouldn't be talking like that, and he shouldn't. I don't know. So I mean, like it's just like the Tyler Hero thing. There's a video earlier in the year of him talking to one of his defenders, talking like crap, and that's how you survive in the NBA is by talking to other players and getting in their heads. So I think this is a good move by John Morant, and I actually like it. So Luke, what do you take of this whole situation, and who do you think is going to go after Andre Iguodala?
Yeah, I like all of it on the Grizzlies side. The Grizzlies are probably my favorite team outside of Milwaukee right now, just because of their young talent and their, you know, not cockiness, but they're just, excited to be doing as well as they are. And I like that they're going after Andre Iguodala. He hasn't played for their team, and it, it just doesn't make sense to me why he's such against playing for them. But at the same time, the Grizzlies, I know they're talking about, maybe not moving him and waiting until after the deadline for players to sign on playoff teams. But I think that would be a huge mistake for them, because that would be a terrible asset. That would be terrible asset management. They could get draft picks potentially for him. I think right now the Clippers or Lakers are obviously the main contenders for him. And I heard Houston as well could get into him. The thing is, if he sits out for the year, I think he might just end up back at Golden State next year and run that back.
Yeah, out of the teams you have said, I would honestly see him going to join Anthony Davis and LeBron James for the purple and gold in the Los Angeles Lakers. I could also see him on any other team, but I think if you had to pick a team, I think the Lakers would be the front runner for him. So that just about concludes the talk of the NBA for today's show. We're gonna move along. This is a big topic. It's a fun little debate question that we have coming up next, and it goes as following. So obviously we know that two second year QBs have won the MVP award 2 years in a row. Obviously Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson this year. So based off of that stat, could Kyler Murray be the next second year quarterback to win the MVP award? So it would be 3 years in a row if Kyler Murray were to do it. So Luke, I'm going to feed that question to you first, and then I will give my take. But do you think Kyler Murray can win the MVP award next year?
I don't have an MVP, but I could see him taking a huge step up, and I could see the Cardinals, if they can shore up some of their defensive issues, taking a huge step up and possibly making a run at a wild card spot in the playoffs. Obviously, they play in a really tough division in the NFC West with Seattle, LA, and San Francisco, who just went to the Super Bowl. But they have some weapons offensively now. Obviously, Larry Fitzgerald playing another season, and he's still serviceable. They have young guys like Christian Kirk and Andy Isabella, and then they have if David Johnson can somehow bounce back from his injury problems over the last few years, I could see them taking a huge step up, and I think Kyler's going to take a huge step up next year, both rushing and passing.
Yeah, that is definitely agreeable. I agree with you. I don't see him being the MVP next year. He, based off of these three quarterbacks, he was obviously the only one to start all 16 games, while Lamar's rookie year, he only started 7 games, and Mahomes barely played in his rookie year. So I can't compare those three, like the three players' rookie years, kind of like barely. But all I know is that Kyler Murray would have to play at the most elite level if he would want to become the third second-year QB to win the MVP award in a row. Just to go along here, Mahomes, his second-year stats, he played ungodly well. He threw for 5,097 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. And Lamar's second year, which was this year, he threw for 3,117 yards, 36 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. So based off of these second-year stats for Lamar and Mahomes, Murray would, one, have to find the end zone more often. I believe he only had 20 throwing touchdowns on the year, and he also had 12 interceptions. So, I mean, he would have to throw 30 more touchdowns and not one pick to be compared to Patrick Mahomes' second year, or he would have to throw 16 more touchdowns on the year and 6 less interceptions coming into this next season. So honestly, I don't see him doing that. I mean, with his speed and the way the way he can run and how small he is, I think not next year, but going into the future, and at some point in his career, I can see him being an MVP. But if you asked me if he was going to become the MVP next year, I don't think I can say that yet. But obviously, like I said, the way he can throw and the way he can run and his speed, I think he can have a dominant season like Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, but just not in his second year. So later on in his career, I can see him as an MVP, but not next year.
It's exciting seeing him. Me living in Arizona, I've been able to see him this year, and hopefully we'll be able to see him in the future, and it'll be exciting to watch him live, be able to see that greatness if he can pull it off.
Yeah, he will definitely be a fun player to watch as his NFL career goes on, just like Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Their careers are long over, or not long over, but they are going to be here for a long time. So it's going to be fun to watch these three young quarterbacks duel it out in the NFL. To end the show, we always do a daily pick segment. So at this point in the year, the only sports we go choose from is basketball. So it would be the NBA and college basketball. And later in the year, obviously, it'll turn into MLB and the NBA and college basketball going in to March and April. So for now, it's only the NBA and college basketball. So to start, we have an NBA slate for Wednesday and Thursday night games. So the first game in the NBA that we have is the Indiana Pacers at the Toronto Raptors, and that is taking place on Wednesday tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will take the home team, the Toronto Raptors.
I'm also taking Toronto. Victor Oladipo is still getting back. I know he's really struggling so far this year. So while he continues to struggle, I'm going to have Indiana struggling as well a little bit.
All right, we agree on the first game. So the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz are the next game, and that is happening tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will take the Utah Jazz at home. They're playing pretty well, so I'll stick with the home team here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Utah at home too. Utah's a really tough place to play. And though Denver has been playing pretty well, they're going to be on a second night of a back-to-back playing Portland last night. So it's going to be tough for them.
All right. So the next game we have is the Miami Heat at the Los Angeles Clippers. And I will stick with the home team once again. I'll take the Clippers to beat the Heat at home.
I'm also going with the Clippers. Miami is 500 on the road. They've struggled a little bit, and the Clippers are 21-5 at home, and obviously they're just dominating the season. So I'm going to go with them.
All right, so the next game is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Milwaukee Bucks, and that game is happening tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will take the best in the league. I'll take the Milwaukee Bucks. Just the trio of Giannis, Chris, and Bledsoe is just, I think, too unstoppable for the league. So I'll take, even though the 76ers did beat the Bucks earlier in the year, I still think the Bucks will fairly handle the Sixers tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Bucks too. Obviously, we talk every episode about the Sixers struggling on the road, and now they're having a lot of internal issues between the coach and Joel Embiid and having issues with teammates. I'm going to roll with the Bucks.
All right, the second to last game we have for the NBA is the San Antonio Spurs at the Portland Trailblazers. I'll take the Trailblazers at home. Obviously, we talked about Damian Lillard and his outstanding stretch of play he's been having over the last 6 games, and I think he continues it at home against the Spurs. So I'll take Portland.
I'm going with Portland too. We're agreeing on everything. Damian Lillard's obviously super hot. Portland or San Antonio's also been playing pretty well recently, but I'm going to go with Portland still.
And lastly, for the NBA, it's the Houston Rockets at the Los Angeles Lakers, and that game is happening tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will take the Lakers to beat James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and the crew at the Staples Center.
I'm going to take the Lakers. I like their dynamic so far this season, and Houston has still been kind of struggling to get on top, so I'm going to go with the Lakers.
All right, so we both, Luke and I, took the home teams for the NBA, and we agreed on every single game. So let's see if that changes as we move along to the college basketball slate. In the first game is number 10 Villanova at number 19 Butler, and that game is happening tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will take the Villanova Wildcats to take down Butler on the road. I think Colin Gillespie is just an outstanding point guard. He can make plays left and right, and he gets his team involved. And he can shoot. He can score off the dribble. He can pass off the dribble. He can do a lot of things, and he's just so fun to watch. So I'll take Villanova on the road in this Big East showdown.
Yeah, we agree again. I'm going Villanova here.
All right. So, and the second game we have is the Wisconsin Badgers at the Minnesota Gophers. And that game is happening tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will take the Badgers on the road. They obviously took down Michigan State at home on Saturday afternoon. And I know the Big Ten, there's a lot of talk about how the Big Ten home teams have been outstanding. Like I said in the last episode, I think the last time I checked the record for a Big Ten home team, it's like the wins are in like the 40s or 50s to losses in teens. So I'm going to go away from that, and I will take the Badgers taking down Minnesota on the road.
I'm also going to the Badgers. We're agreeing on everything here.
All right, so the next game is Cincinnati at Wichita State. And that game is happening tomorrow, Thursday, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will take the road team here. I'll take the Cincinnati team to take down the Shockers on the road.
And we finally disagree on something. I'm going to go with Wichita State here.
All right, so yeah, like Luke said, we finally disagree on one game. And the last game we have is USC at number 23 Arizona, and that game is happening tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a Pac-12 showdown, and USC has been playing outstanding this year in the Pac-12, but Arizona is they're a different animal at home. You saw it against Colorado. I picked Colorado to win that game, and they just blitzed Colorado out of their gym. And yeah, like I said, Arizona is just a different animal at home. So I'll take the 23 ranked Wildcats, take down the Trojans.
I'm actually going to go against you again. I'm going to go with USC here.
All right, so that wraps up our daily pick segment, and we are going to update you guys every week on our records with these picks. We're going to have a little competition here. We might have a little bet going, and we will update you guys on the picks and the records of each of us as our episodes move along. So that just about does it for us today. We would both like to thank you guys for listening to the Sportz Hive podcast. We will be releasing episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and the Anchor app. So please follow our social media in the description below for more content. We hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and hope to see you guys back here, right here on the Sportz Hive podcast.